Hi, I'm Geneva Crowley and I'm a UX designer. I want to walk you through my very first case study where I designed a language learning app that helps users connect with a native or advanced speaker to learn a new language. To understand a bit more about the problem, I found that language learners want to speak with native or advanced speakers, but are often feeling too intimidated. And in my problem statement, I said people can learn a new language well if they can find a native or advanced speaker online that can help them speak. My role for this project is a UX designer, and I use this design process where I loop through research, ideation, and design. I want to walk you through some of my research. I first started with a competitor analysis, and I looked at this app, italki, which is exactly what I'm looking for. It helps people connect with a native or advanced speaker, and they have a video integration where you can talk to them through the app. I enjoyed using this app very much, and I met with someone to speak French on a couple of occasions. I think a weakness with this app is they can improve their navigation a bit. And I also enjoyed using HelloTalk. HelloTalk is a language learning app that helps you connect with someone who is a native speaker of the language you're trying to learn, and they are trying to learn your native language. I really like meeting the different people around the world, but I think a weakness in this app is that you rely very heavily on your friends' corrections being correct. And for my user research, I had 3 questions or 3 goals to understand. I was curious to know if language learners feel the need to speak their language with a native speaker, and I wanted to determine what commitment language learners are willing or can put into learning a new language, and I want to understand how language learners feel about their current learning process. I interviewed 3 people around the world who are currently or planning to move to a new country to learn a new language. And that's why they're learning a new language. My participants lived in the US, New Zealand, and the Netherlands. And they did find that they wanted to speak with native speakers to learn the new language, but often felt intimidated about making mistakes. And they also find that if you can find someone who can help you learn a language, it's an invaluable skill worth a lot of money, but they also have other financial obligations. In their current language learning process, it is quite scattered because these are working adults who also have social lives. And from my user research, I developed 2 personas. Meet Susan and Brian. Susan is learning Dutch because she did just move to the Netherlands, and Brian is learning Japanese because he wants to watch Japanese media in the native language. I wanted to differentiate between 2 different users who are learning out of necessity and who are learning for fun. I developed these user journeys that explore how the users feel as they're going through each phase in their app. Susan is feeling really excited about learning a new language and meeting her tutor, but might feel a little stressed about time because she's quite busy. And Brian is feeling equally excited about meeting a tutor and learning a new language, but is also feeling nervous about the financial commitment. So I think that using time and price transparency is very important. I broke down their task flows for each task within the app so that I would have a better understanding how they would navigate the app. And then I was ready to create my sitemap. First, I used optimal sort to create an open card sort, and I gathered feedback from 6 participants. And from my research, I find that people associate more specifically that they should be able to contact and book their tutor from their profile and find them on their lessons page. From all my research, I developed these low fidelity wireframes using Blossomik, and I took some inspiration from italki. Then I developed the screens a bit more to add some more detail to them. And through my user testing, I asked 6 participants to use my app, and I found that they quite enjoyed using my app, but there were some clarity issues that disturbed their process a bit. We can view more, and within the rainbow sheet, I also involved my test, and here you can see the errors more in detail. And more specifically, I think a lot of participants found that the filters weren't quite as they were quite confusing. I also created a preference test to understand if I can improve the feel of my app a bit more. And here I used the navigation. I just changed the green house. I just made the house green, and 58% of my participants preferred the green house. And then using all this feedback, I developed a high fidelity wireframe, making my app a bit more clear to use and making it a bit more engaging. And here I changed that filter icon so that people would understand what that function is for. And I made these they were tags before, and I made them actionable buttons so that people can filter their tutors on the screen. Now I developed my style guide that helps people understand, or helps us understand, the basic elements of the app, and so as we make further iterations, we know what guidelines we should follow. And then I developed my prototype. You can learn more about my prototype watching this app, or you can also try it yourself. I think some more preference tests on my filters pages and usability tests amongst older language learners would help me develop my app better. And thank you so much for joining me for this journey and learning about this app. I think going forward, I would ask a bit more questions from my users to understand a bit more about how to help people connect with a tutor. And thank you, Enzo, for giving me so much inspiration for this app. It's my roommate's cat, but he doesn't speak Dutch, but he definitely loves communicating. And thank you to my mentors and my tutor for helping me through this process of developing my language learning app.